it. It's not the idea. It's how he's executed it.
Or much like
Exactly! Yes! You see?
being in Washington.
I'm actually surprised Chuck is somewhere outside of this conglomerate media. We're gonna dissect him. This girl's probably gonna destroy him because these liberals have been really piling up on her because she's been talking about the truth. And then the Democratic Party, what's her name, Lily Wu. Poor girl, she's gonna get dissected here. It's gonna be a bloodbath. Actually, I'm surprised. I mean, I've never seen Chuck Todd outside of in like an interview environment. I've never seen him outside of his news anchor space.
A long time. You've seen it all before. I don't think any of us have ever seen anything quite like what is happening here. I've got to be honest, I just don't know if it could work. I mean, I'm keeping an open mind, as I do with all things Trump, that if you get away from the often incendiary rhetoric and the kind of brutal methodology, is there a method to the madness? I'm looking at the markets this morning. You've got a full-blown trade war now between the United States and China, but the market's gone up on this news, which suggests to me that maybe, even on Wall Street, they're thinking, well, maybe it is time we had a gloves-off war over trade.
Well, I don't know if it's going to work either. History says it's unlikely to work, and I think the real challenge for President Trump is it's not what he's trying to do.
Can I just say before he continues, what's up with all this fear mongering? History says that we can't achieve this. I mean, history said that we can't fly. Are we gonna follow history? Like, what is this? This is ridiculous. I just don't get this argument, this fear mongering that we just can't move forward. It's just impossible. We got to do everything the same way we always used to do it, no matter what, even though it doesn't work, because history just doesn't show us data of anything else. Like, what a trash argument.
What he's trying to do is popular, right? Bring back manufacturing, bring back more, Americans should make more things in America. That is not that is a unifying idea. But the way he's gone about it, I think has both been politically damaging to himself, and then obviously...
I don't get it. So what's bad? That it's politically damaging?
It could be catastrophic to the economy. It's not to me dissimilar.
It could be catastrophic to the economy, could be not. Nobody knows anything. He literally just has no arguments. Here he should have been outlining one by one. This, here... His tariffs here on Canada is destroying 25% of the market space, reducing GDP permanently in about 17%. Even within a 10-year period, that could be very destructive to, for example, somewhere like Iowa. He could have this is where he should be doing this, right? Instead, he's like, yeah, it could maybe, tariffs could maybe, possibly, sometime in the future, maybe, I don't know. To have some kind of negative effect. But I mean, I'm a negative Nancy no matter what. I mean, maybe even if it's positive, I'm going to say that history told us not to do it. I mean, what a ridiculous... This is like a guy that was on TV. Like, talk about just... Okay, I'm going to rewind it and not talk. But watch how he's literally going to say nothing for 30 seconds except fear monger.
What he's trying to do is popular, right? Bring back manufacturing, bring back more, Americans should make more things in America. That is not that is a unifying idea. But the way he's gone about it, I think has both been politically damaging to himself, and then obviously it could be catastrophic to the economy. It's not to me dissimilar to what happened to President Biden and the Afghanistan withdrawal. The idea of getting out of Afghanistan, that was universally popular, right? That had 60, 70%. Yes, get out. How he got out became a test of his competency or, frankly, incompetency of his administration. And when you look at how President Trump has done this, there's a good op-ed in the New York Times today. Aaron Cass, who's a defender of the larger idea of what President Trump is doing, but simply seems to be sort of at his wit's end at sort of how he's trying to do it. Politically, he should have done his tax cut first and sort of essentially gradually increased and gradually...
So now he's telling him how to do it?
His tariffs, you do a little bit at a time, 3 months at a time, see who comes to the table, you give business a chance.
You see these losers, you see what these guys try to do? oh, you really can't do it this way. You got to do it this way. Oh, shut the fudge up. We tried to do it your way. You lost the election. Nobody likes you. Get out of here. Shut up. Stop telling anyone what to do. Nobody's going to listen to you. I'm actually surprised Piers Morgan is just sitting there like letting the dude
Absorb
blabber.
the new rules, and there is sort of you can create some certainty in the business community.
No one cares
The
what
way
you
he's
think.
done it, I think he's jeopardized his political support
That's
in
it.
Congress, even
Meta-
among his fellow
Meta.
Republicans, and he's jeopardized the competency.
Oh, it's just meta. His whole argument here is a meta. Like I really don't like the way he said these things. Like he could have came off these like the tariffs are honestly essentially probably not a bad idea. It's just the way he comes about. It's just hurting his reputation and hurting the standings in the Republican nation. Shut up, man. What are you? What? Go away, man. I'm gonna smack this dude. Like what is? Does he need somebody smack him like to wake him up? Like what is this argument, man? That Trump is just meta, you know, like I just don't like the way his tone basically. I just don't. I wish to God he was first doing the taxes, then gradually did this, you know, in a more diplomatic, more pragmatic fashion. Instead, this guy is just jumping through hoops. He looks like a clown. That's basically his whole argument. Like I just don't like the way he does it. It's just a meta argument. He's not actually against the substance because he hasn't made one argument against the substance, except maybe you could actually increase the cost on the economy. What does that even mean? We're literally $35 trillion in debt. Now you guys remember that there's a cost on the economy?
That I think many business leaders assumed he had with the economy. They looked at Trump 1 and thought, hey, that wasn't so bad. Now I would look at it and say, well, he's got an entirely different slate of advisors surrounding him this time than he had in 1.0. You know, Mike Pence, Reince Priebus, those guys were free marketers. They were free traders. There were a lot of free traders in his administration in Trump 1.0. Those folks don't exist in Trump 2.0.
Nice confession.
So I do think he's put himself and has put his party in massive...
Good confession. So he cleaned the swamp. Nice confession. Nice slip of the tongue there, Chuck Todd. You imbecile. This guy's literally an imbecile. Like he's like probably lower IQ than 74. Like he probably has lower than 74 IQ scores. I bet you. So here's the deal. He just conceded and confessed that the same people that were basically the swamp are being drained. That's amazing. And he's mad about it. He's actually mad about it.
Political jeopardy by how he's gone about it. It's not the idea. It's how he's executed it.
Or much like
Exactly! Yes! You see? The whole problem Chuck Todd has with Trump is a method argument. Like, I just don't like the way you stood there and told Canada to eat dust. You know, you could have been more diplomatic and told them to eat ice cream with some vanilla and cherries on top. Well, what? Go! Shut up, man! What? What? That's it? That's all that's all Chuck Todd? So basically he totally agrees with Trump? He just conceded he totally agrees with Trump. He literally has no problem with Trump except his tone. What a loser. How does he not think this is going to embarrass the living bejesus out of him? Okay, let's listen a little bit more, guys. Let's listen a little
played a
bit.
CNN clip earlier, them talking about a poll which showed that the majority of Americans are comfortable with the level of power that Donald Trump has, which might be a surprise to many people on the left, for example, who think he's completely out of control and he's a king and so on. So it's clear that the American people at the moment believe actually it's okay that he has this amount of power. But how he's utilizing it is clearly causing him a lot of personal poll rating damage. Because another CNN poll I saw this morning showed that over the tariff issue, his support is definitely plummeting. And it is a massive roll of the dice. Whatever side you're on, whichever way you look at this, nobody has ever tried to launch a global trade war. He would dispute the word war, but I think most people would say that's what we're now in. A global trade war between the United States and everybody else, with China in particular responding.
What's wrong with why is this question so long?
So the two things can be right. People might be comfortable that the president has this power to do this, but the way he's executing this is eating up his political capital. And again, I look, I don't know if it's going to work. If it does, then he'll turn out to be a genius who played the ultimate blunt weapon, and it worked. If it doesn't work, conversely, he could be in
literally
serious
feeding him the
trouble,
answer.
and the Republicans heading into the midterms might get one hell
Piers
of a
Chuck's
beating
so
there,
dumb.
and then another big beating in the next election. In other words, the stakes are incredibly high here.
Piers Morgan Uncensored.
What is happening?
He's the whole
Trump. Well, how can you support Trump? He's going to be the.
All right, I thought he was gonna let talk. But anyways, who cares about everybody else? This is absolutely unbelievable. So Chuck Todd comes up here, speaks, and I sit there listening to him dissect. I've never heard him go through this before, guys. This guy's supposed to be a Democratic operative. He's very tied in with the Democratic Party. He really is a DNC shill. And he will run any kind of propaganda, a complete stenographer for the establishment. So he knows everything that, all the talking points basically is what I'm trying to argue here. And this guy stands on national television with Piers Morgan, a YouTube TV show, of course, but now it's a national TV show, basically, because YouTube owns the world. And he says that I'm okay with all the policies. I just don't like the tone. After I dissected him, guys, I couldn't believe that he actually conceded that. But he's so dumb. He's so like an imbecile, right? He's so low in IQ level. He actually conceded that. He wasn't supposed to concede. He was supposed to imply. You're not supposed to concede. You're not supposed to reveal your hand. You're supposed to bluff. Imply. You always need the ability to pull back and say, no, I didn't say that. What is it called? I forget what it's called. But basically, not the benefit of the doubt, but ability to retrieve your acceptance or something like that, or your consent. I don't know what they call that. Anyways, so you're not supposed to concede and reveal your hand. You're supposed to bluff and imply that double talk, basically. Supposed to double talk and always have a way out, a way to an alibi. To say, no, that's not what I meant. I meant something else. So you need to kind of double talk. But he's so bad. He just concedes. He just says, I'm okay with the policies. I'm not really necessarily bad with the policies because they do possibly could have some strength attached to them to our sectors. But the tonality, he says it out loud, the tonality. Oh, I couldn't believe he said that. I'm interested in your opinions, guys. What do you think? This low IQ imbecile hates Trump because of his tone. What a feminine thing to do. Interested in your opinions, guys? Leave a comment down below.